Hello, welcome. It's always a pleasure to be here with all of you, learning and sharing together the information. All this information is designed for you. It's practical information that will give you the life that you want. And the problem is you have so many people on the internet, on social media giving advice, but they're not giving the correct advice. And if you look at your life, I'm going to ask you a question. You operate according to the advice you are giving. Did that advice yield any fruitful? Something that you can really enjoy and look back at your hard work and the advice was correct? Most likely the answer would be no. Why? Because again, the evidence is that you lived it and you either went through hardship, difficulty in a relationship or in a marriage. Whatever that relationship was, is because it was based on the information you received and learned, and you use that, and this is where you are today. So today we're going to talk about is, next time I fall in love, what am I going to do different? We all want to be in love. Every one of us want to be in love and be with our soulmate and just live happily ever after. We all know that. No one has to teach us that. We come into this world wanting that. The question is, what are you going to do different this time around? You know the person that you shouldn't choose. You know the people to stay away from. So what is it that you should be looking for so you can fall in love the right way this time around? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for that and you want to do it right, you want to fall in love, and next time you fall in love, this is what you need to look for that has to be there for you to really experience love. And what is that? The first thing, of course, I'm going to say is God. Because again, from personal experience, I have done a lot of things according to my logic, my understanding, and guess what? I was wrong. I was wrong. That's the bottom line. If you look at all the great men, Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov, Joseph, all these people fell in love. They had love through their entire lifetime. Why? Because God was first. They operated according to God's instruction. But yes, they had love. Let me ask you, do you have love? Have you ever experienced love? Have your mother loved you? Your father loved you? Who in your lifetime loved you beside your children? Which is a given. It's a given. Your children are going to love you. But who's going to love you outside that? Beside your parents and your own children? And this is where we go wrong. Is because we need to understand these people are examples. Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov, Joseph, all these great men had love and kept love. And they gave love and they received love. What was different about these men? One, or these women. One, God was the priority. They used God's instruction to seek love, to understand what man or woman they need to love and fall in love with. They use God's instruction. And the reason you didn't have it is because you are going by your logic. Why? Because you know more than God. And that's the bottom line when you think about it. Most of us think we know more than God. And guess what? Because of that rationality, that misleading knowledge you have, is why you're living the life you're living today. Is why you never obtain love, and you probably will never have that in this lifetime unless you decide to go with the designer of you, and the designer of love is telling you this is the blueprint if you want love. If you're not interested in love, then keep doing what you're doing, because again, you're going to yield the same fruit you always yield, which is zero, and most of it really is pain. A lot of pain, disappointment, and because of that, you will say, I don't want to get married anymore. All men are garbage. All women are garbage, which is untrue, because really, you have to look at yourself. Because that's the problem. We don't want to look at ourselves. We want to look at everybody else but ourselves. We want to blame everybody else but ourselves. You were the one that chose those person according to your ego, your knowledge, your understanding, your logic. You made the fatal error, and now everybody else is no good because you were wrong in your ideology or your logic. Is that true? Absolutely not. You're the problem. It's not everybody else. You're the problem. You have to fix you. And as I mentioned, the first thing that you need to understand is that you have to put God words into your life. If you don't care of ever being happy, being loved by someone else other than your children, other than your parents or family member, you are never going to get that. Because why? God didn't design the world according to the way you want it to be. It's his way or the highway. You heard that. And if you want that, and again, God is a merciful, loving God, he wants that for all of us. But because we are rebellious children, because we want to do what we want to do, is why we are where we are today at 40, 50, 60 years old. You're there because you did things your way, and look at the fruit you got today. Look at the fruit you are living today. And it's sad. I was just telling my son-in-law this. You have a wonderful wife. You're a wonderful man. And he was telling me this. This hurt me. He says, I work in the medical field, and my friends who are his age, early 30s, he says they go out and party, they have fun, and they say how free they are. And the next day they come to work, they're stressed out, they're worried, and they're asking him, how come you're not stressed out? He says this to them: I have a loving wife, I have a beautiful children, I'm content, I'm simple. And this is what keeps me happy. And he is more happy than his own counterpart. People his age are miserable. And I told him this: by the time they wake up and they realize they're chasing an illusion because they're partying, having a good time, thinking that's what the way it is, by the time they wake up, they're going to find themselves 40, 50 years old regretting, and it's too late. You can't go back and fix those things. And for us who are in our 40s and 50s already, who have never experienced love, it's not too late. You still have a chance. But again, you're going to have to change your thinking. You need to understand you don't run this world. You need to understand you have existence because God gave you existence, and he's giving you an instruction manual for you to live accordingly, to have the joy and the happiness and the love that you desire. But again, it has to be his way. So the first one is God. The second thing, if you want to fall in love, or next time you want to fall in love, you have to make sure this person has a big heart. And of course, there have to be some attraction. Yes, there has to be some attraction. But a big heart is going to take you pretty much all the way to the finish line. Because what is love? Love is about giving. And if you don't have a big heart, you're not going to give. Think about what I'm going to say. When you had your child, your son, your daughter, what did you do? They were a baby, an infant. All you did was give, 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 give. Why did you give so much? Why didn't you tell them, I'm not going to give you anymore? You're 2 years old. Go do for yourself. But you keep giving. Even if the child is 50 years old, a mother will still give, a father will still give. Why? Because that's love. Love is a one-way direction of giving. So when you give and give and give and give, that shows you love that person. And it's unconditional. There's nothing tied to it. I give just like you give to your son, to your daughter. It was unconditional. You're not expecting anything. Next time you want to fall in love, you need to find someone who's going to give unconditional. Because the giving unconditional start with a big heart. If that person does not have a big heart, they're not going to give you. Because it's about them. And the people you fell in love with, you are nothing more than a stepping stool to get them to the next place they want to be in life. At that moment, they needed you to get to the next level, and that's why it seemed like it was love. They wanted to be with you. But that was not the case. Because why? If they really loved you, they would be giving so much, endlessly giving. Because that's what love is. God is love. And what does God do? He's a giver. He gives us everything we need every day of our lives for 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. And we need to be like him. That's why I say you're created in God's image. God's image means you are a giver. You're giving. Until you find that man or that woman is a giver like God is, you will never know what real love is. It will never exist for you. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.